Hi, this is Tim from Time to Sew with this month's workshop. This time we'll be using two new products to the site. The first is an unusual one. It's a sticky backed plastic from Hobby Fun. It's quite stout material and obviously isn't sticky to the touch because there's a protective film over it. Here's a little offcut here. So there you go, there's the that's the material, and you can see that when I peel the back off you end up with a translucent plastic. Now you can now attach lightweight fabrics like this one to the plastic using that adhesive layer. So I'm just going to smooth that over so there's no wrinkles. There we go. Quickly cut around the edge. So we end up with a little snowflake like that. Okay. Now this is the same sort of weight as cardboard, and pretty much anything that you can do with cardboard you can do with this. So it can be folded, so you can make a card purely of this. But also you can make little 3D items. So what we're going to do in the workshop today is make a little gift box there. Makes a nice little favour box or little prezi box, and a card with a snowflake panel. The other item we're going to be using today is a Hougie board. This is a great tool, very simple, but it really does work. You've got a raised frame around the edge, and then the bed is a series of parallel scoring lines. As per my Hougie board instructions, I've drawn with a felt pen a black line down to give me a centre line that's easy to find, and you'll see that there are measurements running along like rulers down either side and across the top. One side, this side, is metric, so the groove lines are 5mm spaces, and the ruler you can reads off centimetres and half centimetres along its length. Flip it over, same principle, but this time inches. So you have ½ inch and inch groove lines. The board comes with a little bone folder. This is fairly sharp tip to drop into the score lines, and the idea is that you just offer your card up to the board, slide it into the corner against the ridge, and then you can score down using your bone folder. So this is the tool. These are the fabrics. We're going to be using this very delicate snowflake one, which I don't know if this comes across on the camera, but it actually has a blue glitter detail in some of the snowflakes. The second fabric is this one, little Ithacus fish design, and you can see that on one side the fish are silver and the other side gold. A number of the fabrics are like this, double-sided, which is a nice idea. So without further ado, we'll get going. So here we go, here's my Hougie board and a piece of card. I'm sliding the card up into against the stops of the Hougie board, scoring down and then flipping the card over and scoring down the other side. By scoring from both sides like this, you get a nice, clean, crisp fold. There we go, so that's my card. So all I'm going to do now is move the Hougie ball to one side, and using the grid on my cutting mat, just going to line up the spine of my card to the line on the cutting mat, and then steel rule, 2 squares down, and a scalpel just to cut across there. There we go. So cutting through the card there. Done. Now I'm going to take the same measurement up from the bottom and cut a panel off the top. So what we've ended up with now is the back of the card with the fold and a piece missing out the middle, and I've cut a piece of my plastic the same size as the front of the card. So what I'm going to do now is line that up on my mat to the lines as before, and cut just lightly with the scalpel, because I'm not trying to cut through the plastic but just through the backing sheet. So just quite lightly with the scalpel there, spin around, do the same the other side. Now the reason for this will all become clear in a moment, but essentially what I want to do is to be able to peel away the centre section of the backing, leaving a panel either side still with the backing on. Now you'll remember that I cut a piece of card or a panel of card out of my card. Now I'm using that as a template to decide where in the fabric I want to make my cut. So I'm lining up some snowflakes to that panel, and then using my ruler and scalpel I'm just going to cut the fabric, because this fabric's so thin it cuts really easily, and with a nice crisp line. So see the side. Just going to cut the top now. Again, I'm using the grid on my cutting mat to get everything parallel. It's a little tweak I've missed in the corner. That's it. So that's given me 3 sides. I'm now going to use that off-cutter card again to do my positioning. And then cut the top and bottom. So what we have now is a panel of the fabric to take the place of the missing piece of card. So there's the back of the card, there's the front lip with the fabric in the middle. So back now to our piece of plastic, and I'm going to peel away the centre section. So we've now got a sticky centre section, but either side still protected by the backing sheet. I'm positioning the fabric over that, just smoothing it with my hands, just to make sure there's no wrinkles in it. There we go. And now I'm just going to pull away the protective cover on the left hand side. There we go. And attach it to the card using that built-in adhesive layer. Same for the left hand side, right hand side. Pull that away. Line this up to the fabric and to the back of the card. And there we go. That's the front of our card done. And as you can see, it's translucent and glittery. I'm going to use some of this blue ribbon just to finish the card off. I'm going to measure 2 lengths to run top to bottom of the card. I'm going to put double-sided tape along the back of the ribbon. This is just standard double-sided tape, so I'm applying the ribbon to the tape. Then making sure it's nicely stuck down. Same again for the second strip. Then it's just a case of peeling away the backing and applying the now sticky ribbon over the joint between the card and the fabric. There's one strip done. And the second one. You'll find if you pull the ribbon straight, it's easier to get it square. Then I'm just going to use my scalpel to cut through the ribbon, leaving a nice, neat edge. So there we are. The card with the translucent centre panel and the ribbon trim. Now just to finish it off, I thought we'd put a peel off across the bottom. Now the peel off that I'm going to use is 2 separate words, and to ensure that I get them square and properly spaced, I've cut the 2 words off of the sheet, and then I'm just peeling away all of the backing. So it's just going to leave me with the wording that I want on the sheet. There we go, follow the star. And then using a piece of sellotape, I'm just going to run that over the top of the peel off. I'm making sure it's nicely stuck down with the back of my nail. And then I'm going to flip it over and pull the backing away, leaving the lettering on the sellotape. I can now use this to position the wording onto the card. When I've got it nice and square, I'm going to rub it down with my finger, back of my nail, and then just peel the sellotape away, leaving the wording left on the card. Quite often it shows when I'm demoing this. People tell me that I should be using special low tack tape or masking tape, but I find just normal sellotape the best to use. Strictly speaking, this is magic tape from Scotch tape, which gives you the ability to tear it in your fingers, which is why I buy it for wrapping the parcels, but just any old sellotape will do for this. There we go. So there's the finished card. Now then, next thing we're going to do is to make a little favour box. I'm going to be using the Hobby Farm plastic again and the Hougie board. I've cut my plastic to size and I'm just using the Hougie board to give me a nice central score. There we go, so I've scored there to give me the fold, and then I'm just going to make it really pronounced by using the bone folder. Now this is a project that is included within a booklet that Kay, the inventor of the Hougie board, has written, and it's a nice accompaniment to the board and helps you get the most from it. I'm just measuring the middle of my piece of plastic, both ends, and putting a little mark there with a biro to show the centre. I'm now going to line that mark and my middle fold against my centre line on the Hougie board, and again using my bone folder create a fold or a crease line through the plastic. If you were doing this in card, you'd score it from one side, then flip it over and score it from the other side. But with the plastic, I tend to only work from the plastic side of the plastic rather than, sounds confusing I know, rather than the side with the backing sheet on. So there I go, I'm just emphasising the fold each time to get it nice and crisp. There we go. So that's it, and that's our little triangular favour box. And the next thing to do, now it's had all its scoring done and shaping, is to cover it with fabric. So I'm just going to first off decide which side of fabric I'm going to do, whether I'm going to have silverfish or goldfish. I think I'm going to go for goldfish. So I'm just laying the plastic over and just roughly cutting a chunk of fabric slightly larger than my plastic. Before I attach the fabric, I'm just going to using a crocodile tool, I'm going to punch a hole through the 2 layers of plastic, which is folded as you can see, through the corners. There we go. I'm now going to peel away the protective backing layer to expose the glue, and then attach my fabric to that sticky plastic. There we go. Smooth it down to make sure there's no wrinkles. In Kay's Hougie booklet, this is done with card, and it's very effective with pattern card. But it's these sort of 3D shapes that I think really show off the hobby fun plastic to its best advantage. So all I'm doing now is just going round and just doing the fine trimming of the fabric to the plastic. So the finishing touch now is just to cut a length of ribbon, form the box into a box, and thread the ribbon through those holes at the top. Finishing off with a little bow. Through one, through the next, and then by pulling the ribbon taut, it holds the box closed and in shape. Obviously this is the time in which you'd put the contents in. So, finishing it with a bow. There we go. I'm just going to add a little congratulations peel off along the bottom of the box in gold. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Here's the finished little box with the peel off congratulations. Thank you for watching. As always, the products that we've used are available from the website www.timetosew. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Hobby Fun for the card design, and thank you to Kay at Hougie Board for the design of the box. See you again soon. Thanks very much.